Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Your Big Music Moment. We've got a really special treat. We've got Laura Mazon Franqui with us again, the Cuban American auteur, classical guitarist. We're looking forward to hearing some performances from her and some interesting dissection of a newly recorded piece she's done and a really cool teaser video for her upcoming video release. So we're looking forward to that. Before we get there, a special thanks and shout out to musicians on call who bring the healing power of music to those in need. And we are Big Music. We come at you every Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific right here. Here's Laura. Welcome.
Hi, hello everybody. Hello, Krish. I'm delighted to
Hey,
be back here on the show.
great to have you back. Let's play some music, and then I can't wait to talk about all the stuff you've got coming up.
Sure, that sounds great. Well, for starting, I will be playing a beautiful Cuban song that is based on the classical type of Cuban song, which is called the bolero. And this is a very beautiful song that is all about nostalgia, about missing someone, and also about love. It is called La Ausencia by the Cuban composer Eduardo Martin.
That's
Thank you.
beautiful.
Thank you
That's
so
really beautiful.
much. Thank
A
you.
bolero. Excellent.
𝗩𝗶𝗿, yes, it's based on the feeling and the kind of like Cuban style of song that was very typical of the 40s of the last century, but it's a very typical kind of song that is all about love, that is all about the expression of feelings. And this one in particular always brings me great memories. I always think about the Malecon and watching the waves and a
Yeah.
lot of nostalgia.
I can imagine. It seems like you came to the U.S. from Cuba, and fairly recently. That's correct?
Yes, yes, that's correct. I just came 5 years ago.
5 years ago. Well, a belated welcome, of course. But there's such passion in a lot of the genres of music that we find from Cuba, and the broader, Caribbean, also including Afro-Caribbean genres. What is the difference? Why is that music so much? Why does it seem more passion filled? Is it just how we look at it, or is there something extra in it?
Well, I think, yeah, there's a lot of passion because I think that, I mean, in Cuba we live patiently. That's the thing. I believe that, I don't know, it's just a way of looking at life, and maybe because, I don't know, there's the island vibes that always gives that kind of sense of freedom, or I don't know. It's just we live intensely. We love intensely. We feel of the emotions intensely, and that's the way we are. When we fight, we really fight. Like we scream to each other, but that wouldn't last. Usually in the families, it's like a novela. We'll just have those great explosions, and then 5 seconds after, you'll just saying, "I'm so sorry. Forgive me. I love you," and everything will be just like that. I think it's just something that runs into our blood. Yeah, kind of like patience.
So no, that's and speaking of that kind of passion, I know you have a song that you've released previously, a day of November, as a title translated, and
Hmm.
that's been receiving a lot of love on Spotify. And so now you're making a music video, and we've got a teaser for that, which we're going to be really excited to hear. But tell us about the song, and what it
Sure.
means, and how that ties into that passion.
Of course, yes. I am so happy to be sharing this news. This is the first time that I'm saying it out, okay? So this is like a very emotional moment for me because, yes, I have been waiting to have a song to which I have a real deep connection to create my first professionally made video that looks like a video clip that, kind of like tells a story. It is not only me playing the instruments, but it involves storytelling as well because I like to think about myself as a storyteller through music. That's why I like to envision. And especially this song by 𝗩𝗶𝗿 called Un Día de Noviembre. I released it last year in the middle of the pandemic. It was a very dark time, and I thought that this song kind of resonated with a lot of emotions that we were feeling in that time because it was a song about all of those deep emotions, about meditating about life and the meaning of life. It was actually the soundtrack for a movie from the 70s that is called by the same name, Un Día de Noviembre. And it's a very existential movie in which the protagonist is just faced with the notice of having an illness, and then he has to think about, well, what is my life? What have I done with my life? Is this the path that I wanted? If I had only a few days to live, what should I do? What would I really like to pursue? So I think that this song has a very deep connection with all of us who, just think about life as a journey, and we meditate and we ask ourselves, what are we doing here? And the music video kind of like wants to tell that story from my perspective. And I won't say anything else because that would be telling too much, but I'm very
Okay.
excited. It is a production by a very great director. He's young and he's from Miami, and his name is Andy Ramirez. And I will say that he even made me an actress for that video. So there's a lot of things coming up.
Perfect. Well, very exciting stuff. Let's roll the video and check out the teaser.
Awesome.
killer. That's going to be, I cannot wait to see the whole thing and hear the song in its complete entirety along with those visuals. Amazing. You
Thank you
must be
so
really excited.
much. I am so glad you liked it. It's the very first time that I'm putting it out there for the world to see. So,
So when are we
so
going to be
glad
able to
that you're
see it?
loving it.
When is it going to be released formally?
Yes, well, right now I'm thinking about releasing it either on the last week of May or the first week of June. So, yeah, it's coming up.
Excellent. And speaking of coming up, we've got a brand new audio release of yours, which I'm really excited to play, Canarios. And one of the things that I think is going to be really interesting is let's talk a little bit about the production you did on this. As most people know, when a band or an artist records something, there's many instruments that get layered on top, one on top of another. That was started by Les Paul, the
Awesome.
inventor of he invented that
The
technique,
great
that
guitars
layering.
and
Yeah, and great guitars. Yeah. So we've got a lot to thank, for Les Paul.
sure.
But although I don't know if he made that many, especially initially, he didn't make any classical guitars, no cut guitars. So
Not that I know so far. I wish.
right, so well, his loss because you won't be playing those as much. But so with
Right.
that technique, we've got this classical piece you've done, and what struck me, or classical sounding piece, what struck me is so interesting is how it has these layers, but it doesn't sound like a full band. It's not orchestrated. Those is everything you've done and layered on there, are those things you've done with your guitar?
Yes, exactly. It was all created at my home studio, and everything that you will hear. It's very subtle. I didn't want it to be like a cacophony or something that many layers that confuse people and they don't know what they are listening to, if they are
Right.
listening to what I created, or if they are listening to the original Canarios. I just wanted to make a real unique rendition of Canarios, but also being respectful of this masterpiece by the Baroque composer Gaspar Sanz. So, but I wanted to take this very, very beautiful piece that was written like 400 years or more ago, and just give it like a new twist, like kind of enriching it and introducing new sounds and new ideas. So basically, I took the original, or try to take the original, because we really don't know what the original will sound actually on a modern guitar, because it was created for a very ancient kind of guitar that was very small, that had a different set of strings. So everything was absolutely different from the modern guitar. But however, I took what we all know as a melody of Canarios, and I started layering it, but just in a very subtle way. As you can see, it starts with like the original beginning of the song, and then I introduce some harmonics just to create some rhythm. Dun, da, 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 dun, 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 dun. And also that has a lot of Latin flavor, I would say. A lot of Cuban kind of rhythms. It's inspired also by the Afro-Cuban rhythms of the batas and all those rhythms that they create. And then I started to introduce little aspects like little chords that will bring color, like sequences here that are an octave higher than the usual, that you just do like a different voicing, and they're like pops of color and like little things that just make it more lively. And they do finally like a crescendo, and they get to a climax where everything explodes. And there's even percussion that I created using my guitar. Yes, I'm using this part of the guitar to create kind of like the castañuela sound. And I
Yeah.
also created this part of the guitar like around the bridge to sound kind of like a drum, kind of like a medieval drum. So it is like a fantasy. It is like a fantasy base on an ancient song. And I just wanted to bring that joy and the beauty that it has to the 21st century. So that's what I did pretty much. All
Yeah,
done with one guitar and at home.
that's beautiful. Those are 21st century production techniques where instead of saying, making it a whole band, you're making it sound like it's still the singular instrument a little bit, but it's something else. It's Technicolor. It's reinforced. I think Rihanna did that on her song "Stay." Um,
Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
cool.
because it's all piano, but there's much more than just that single piano going on. But if you listen to it, just
Exactly.
cursorily, you think it's just a piano. So it's
That's the
interesting that you
beauty of those
chose that.
songs to
Yeah,
discover. The more you listen, you don't never get tired, because you every time you listen, you will find a different sound, something that you missed on the very first time that you listen to the song.
right,
That's so
exactly.
beautiful. I'm glad.
Well, beautiful. Well, let's hear this song and check out all the creative ways you've made the single guitar into a Technicolor instrument.
Thank you. And harmonics. Harmonics. Bass, added bass. Added chord. Percussion. Added voice. Full blown, everybody. Added ending. My creation.
Wow, wow, that's I mean, 21st century Baroque. Hearing it
Yeah,
here first.
yeah. Exactly
That's
what wow, thank you, because that's exactly what I wanted to create, like a
right.
recreation of that beautiful piece, but like a fantasy. Like if you were daydreaming of just being in the 21st century, but like dressed as a Baroque princess or whatever.
Well, it was interesting how the crescendo built so much, yet
Thank
it
you.
didn't sound like it wasn't building with an orchestra, it was just building with these couple of different, elements that you all added. Um, that's amazing. 21st century Baroque, I think that's a whole new genre of music that you've
Wow.
reinvented.
Wow, wonderful. Thank you so much. And actually I like the term 21st century Baroque. I'm loving it. Thank you
Perfect.
so much, Krish.
Yeah, perfect. And now I think we'll get to hear a little bit more live music. And this is an upcoming Brazilian flavored piece?
Yes, it is. This one's called Dança Brasileira, which is like Brazilian dance, and it's by the Argentinian composer 𝗩𝗓𝗓. And it's just based on the rhythms and the colors of the beautiful Brazilian music. So here it comes.
Nice. What a great way to end. That has an amazing energy, that song.
Thank you
What
so
was the title
much.
again in Spanish?
Danza Brasileira.
Perfect. Well, hey, thanks for being with us again. Really excited to have you back and see how all your work is progressing. Can't wait to see a day of November when we get the full release, and looking forward to having you back soon. As always, thanks so much, Laura.
Thank you so much, Krish, and thank you everybody for connecting. See you soon, and please remember to submit your inquiries if you want to ask anything. I'm gonna be on the chat, and also feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel where the new video is gonna come around on the late May or the beginning of June. Thank you so much, Krish, and have a lovely evening, everybody.
Take care, Laura. Wow, amazing. Another great session with Laura Mazon Franqui, amazing artist from Cuba, and really fitting in some of this classical sensibility with a new way of looking at classical music. And classical music is something that has not had as much innovation as some of the other genres. So it's really refreshing to see an artist like Laura kind of taking that on, and making that music something new, but still preserving its heritage and its intrinsic appeal. And thank you all for joining us and listening to Laura and her music. And we're really excited to announce a new partnership with the platform Tumblr. We're going to be unveiling a new premiere show, live streaming on our page on Tumblr in a couple of weeks. We'll keep everyone posted, but we're really excited to be bringing our music to a wider audience and such a passionate audience as the users of Tumblr. So thanks to them, we'll keep you posted. We're looking forward to that. We're here every Thursday at 6 p.m. We are BYGMusic. I'm your host, Krish Sharma. As always, we support BLM and the cause of social justice. We'll see you next week.